Hey guys, I'm Carla. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, my frameworks, what path I'm on, what I hope to achieve. Just a quick side note, I waived vision on my health insurance this year and my eyes hurt real bad. So I'm going to be blinking really hard a lot. So just that's why. Um, my identity and the intersections in my life have everything to do with what I'm passionate about, what I'm like fighting for. Um, my intersections have changed and developed, and now I have different privileges than I had growing up, and that has also changed my view and lens on things. Growing up undocumented, English as my second language, in poverty with a lot of abuse in the home, drugs and alcohol, I am fully aware of the lack of services there are for our communities, how villainized our communities are for these things, and what few resources there are. Now, as a person in the field, I have seen how hard it is for people trying to access these services, and for clinicians who just sometimes don't even care that these folks can't access these services. So I have a totally different lens on it now, which has only furthered my passion for this. I a loud advocate for culturally responsive mental health healing and decolonizing for our communities of color. As a up and coming clinician, I really the postmodern frameworks really resonate with me, specifically narrative therapy, like big shocker. As a person of color, as a Latina working with Spanish speaking clients, that really resonates with me. Because we are naturally storytelling people. And I think that there are some other therapies that, if followed to fidelity, are really harmful forms of therapy, specifically for our communities of color. And they can only help like further push them away from reaching out for these services. So that is why the frameworks that I practice from. I think it's a really powerful tool. Narrative therapy is a really powerful tool for a lot of folks. And I think that it works really well for the Latinx community, especially given that it has a lot of like culturally responsive aspects inherently in it. So it just makes it a great tool to use. A lot of obviously what I have learned through school has been through research papers. I honestly thought I was going to hate research class, and it like was one of my not favorite classes, but I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. And it gave me a really cool skill to be able to like really analyze different research papers, and being able to grow. And just, I feel like I will always consider myself a lifelong learner. I love reading research papers, and I get so jazzed when I read them. Like, I'm like, oh, that was such a good research paper. And like, I can't wait to try, to see that or try that or like engage in that. And I think when, we stop learning and stop like trying to develop ourselves, that is when we become stagnant. And that is the biggest disservice that I feel we can do to our clients, because they don't need for us to keep doing the same old, same old. We should be engaging in new practices and trying new things, because not everything is going to work for everyone. And so we need to be, finding new things. I am also a big advocate for systemic change. I've had an opportunity to engage with different systems, and I've had the opportunity to see how they work. And like, we hear a lot like, oh, these organizations are broken, and we know that they're not broken. They were built to oppress communities of color. A lot of organizations are biased, racist, and they are dangerous and deadly to our communities. And so we have to fight for change in them. And I feel like the times that I've felt the most pushback on that is when, an organization is already claiming to be very trauma informed and culturally responsive. And, sometimes they're just not in a place where they are able to like hear that. But we have to continue that fight. I'm also really passionate about community organizing and empowering our marginalized communities to fight and work alongside their allies to like advocate for what they need. I think, I'm a very micro, meso, macro person. I love doing that individual work. Community organizing is amazing. And then I think like the next natural step to that is like engaging with these communities, seeing the need, and then pushing that need up. Obviously, not everybody likes every single point of that. Like, not everybody likes to do micro, meso, macro. And that's okay. But I still think that, we need to be engaging and empowering our communities, whatever that community is. And I think there are natural steps to that. So I think, overall, my biggest fight is always going to be cultural responsiveness and being trauma informed with our immigrant and Latinx communities. I am super stoked to be graduating and be done with school and not have to worry about homework anymore. Only 2 more weeks. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks.